Hello everyone, welcome back to Study Room. So in this video, we are going to learn about noise. What is noise? How is noise pollution caused? What are certain types of unpleasant sounds and pleasant sounds? So let's get started. Now let's answer this question. We hear different types of sounds around us. Is the sound always pleasing? Or does a sound sometimes cause discomfort to you? So we can say the sound of music. Let's say music. Music is always pleasing to our ears. We enjoy listening to music. But suppose if there is a sound coming from a construction site, the sound of a drilling machine or a hammer, what happens then? Does it cause certain kind of discomfort? Yes, it causes certain kind of discomfort. It is unpleasing, and we do not like listening to that particular sound, right? So now these unpleasant sounds, as we saw in the case of a drilling machine, these are called noises. There are multiple examples of noises, such as sounds coming from a construction site, as I already mentioned. Then sounds produced by horns of buses and trucks are unpleasant sounds, as as we see in the roads these days. There are multiple horns of buses, trucks, cars, bikes. So those sounds are unpleasant to us. We do not like hearing it. Right? So let's move on. What are musical sounds? Musical sound is one which is very pleasing to our ear. We like listening to that sound. We enjoy listening to that sound. Sound produced by harmonium is a musical sound. The string of a sitar or a guitar also gives a musical sound. Correct? Now, if a musical sound becomes too loud, would it still remain melodious? Would we still enjoy it? No. Sometimes when it becomes very loud, it becomes unpleasant. Unpleasant, and we do not like listening to that sound. Correct? Let's move on. Now, what do you mean by noise pollution? You already know what is noise. Noise is certain kind of unpleasant sound. But noise pollution, how is noise pollution caused? Now, presence of excessive or unwanted sounds in the environment is called noise pollution. Major causes of noise pollution these days are sound of vehicles, the horns coming from certain automobiles, explosions including bursting of crackers, machines, loudspeakers, etc. That's why we say that bursting of crackers or burning of crackers should be avoided during Diwali. Bursting of crackers should be avoided during Diwali because it causes noise pollution and which causes certain discomfort to our ears. Also, using loudspeakers for a very long time should be avoided. Right? Let's move on. Now, what sources in the home may lead to noise pollution? We saw multiple examples of the voices coming from the surroundings. But let's see at home what are the causes of noise pollution. So, television and transistor radio at high volume, when they are used at high volumes, some kitchen appliances, as you can see in the case of grinders, dessert coolers, air conditioners all contribute to noise pollution. They are the causes of noise pollution, right? Now, we already saw noise pollution. What is noise pollution? But what exactly are the harms of this noise pollution? How can it destroy certain things? So, what happens that presence of excessive noise in the surroundings may cause health related problems. if there is a lot of noise pollution, if we are exposed to a lot of noise pollution, if we are exposed to a certain kind of noise pollution for a very long time, it may cause health related issues. Now, what are those health related issues? Some of them may be lack of sleep, hypertension, that is high blood pressure, anxiety, and many more health disorders may be caused by noise pollution. A person who is exposed to a loud sound continuously may get temporary or even permanent impairment of hearing. That is why we should avoid being exposed to loud sound for a very long time, right? Now, what are the measures to limit noise pollution? Noise, there is always going to be certain kind of noise pollution, but to control the noise pollution to a certain extent, there are some sources which we can use. For this, what can we do? We can install silencing devices. Now, these silencing devices may help to reduce the level of noise pollution. So, silencing devices must be installed in aircraft engines, transport vehicles, and industrial machines, and also it can be installed in home appliances. So, it can definitely help to reduce noise pollution to a certain extent. Correct? Now, how can the noise pollution be controlled in a residential area? What measures can be taken to reduce noise pollution to a certain extent in a residential area where we live? So, all noisy operations must be conducted away from any residential area. Noise producing industry should be set up away from such areas. We often see that the noise producing areas are always situated away from the city because the noise pollution, the noise caused by it can cause some discomfort to us. Use of automobile horns should be minimized. On roads, we often come across so much noise pollution because of the horns of automobiles. So if it can be minimized, it will be a great help. And TV and music system should be run at low volumes. TV and music systems should be run at low volumes, so it will considerably control the noise pollution. Am I correct? Also, we can use one more measure. Also, we can use one more Also, we can use one more measure to control noise pollution. Trees must be planted along the roads and around buildings to cut down on the sounds reaching the residents, thus reducing the harmful effects of noise pollution. We can not actually cut out the noise pollution, but we can considerably reduce it, and one of the measure of it is by planting trees along roadside. Okay. Now, hearing impairment. What is hearing impairment? Total hearing impairment, which is rare, is usually from birth itself. Now, and partial disability is generally the result of a disease, injury, or age. Children with impaired hearing need special care. They need to be kept under special observation, and they need to take some special care. Now, how does a person with a hearing impairment communicate? Because obviously they are not able to perceive the sound. So, by learning sign language, there are certain kinds of sign language. Such children can communicate effectively by using them because speech develops as the direct result of hearing. A child with a hearing loss may have defective speech also. Technological devices for the hearing impaired have made it possible for such person to improve the quality of their life. We have often come across many people wearing a ear device. That is the device which enables them to hear something, it enables them to perceive something, and it improves the quality of their life and they can communicate better, right? Now, let's revise the whole chapter. What did we see in the chapter of sound? Sound is produced by vibrating objects. We hear a variety of sounds in our surroundings. The to and fro or back and forth motion of an object is called vibration. Vibrating dish produces waves in the water. We also saw an example of Jaltaran, right? In human beings, the vibration of the vocal cords produces sound. Muscles attached to the vocal cords can make the cords tight or loose, and accordingly, we get a high pitched and a low pitched sound. Right? Sound travels through a medium, that is gas, liquid, or solid. It cannot travel in vacuum. That means it always requires a material medium for its propagation. The eardrum senses the vibration of sound. It sends the signal to the brain. This process is called as hearing, right? Now, the number of oscillations or vibrations per second is called the frequency of sound. The frequency is expressed in hertz. The maximum extent of a vibration or oscillation measured from the position of equilibrium. So it is the maximum displacement, correct, from the position of equilibrium. Larger the amplitude of vibration, the louder is the sound, correct? Higher the frequency of vibration, the higher is the pitch and the shriller is the sound. Women have a shriller voice than men. For human ear, the range of audible frequencies is roughly from 20 to 20,000 Hz. Unpleasant sounds are called noise. Now, excessive or unwanted sounds lead to noise pollution in the environment. Noise pollution may pose health related problems for human beings. Attempts should be made to minimize noise pollution. Plantation on roadside and elsewhere can reduce noise pollution. Correct? So, this was all for this chapter. We learned many interesting fun facts also about sound and also the characteristics of sound. We learned about amplitude, frequency, pitch, loudness. We saw certain activities which determines certain factors related to sounds. So this was all for today's video and the chapter. Next time I'll come with a more interesting chapter. Till then, thank you and see you next time.